Welcome everyone to today's session. Today our topic is Start the Year with Your Best Skin, Essential Tips from a 30-Year Pro. And it is hosted by Lumina Financial Strategies. As a reminder, our webinar is being recorded today, and once approved, the webinar replay will be sent to everyone who registered for the webinar and can also be found on the events page of our website under past events. Your host and moderator today is Allison Fleming, President of Lumina Financial Strategies. Allison is a certified financial planner practitioner, and for those of you who may be joining us for the first time, allow me to introduce her. Allison has been a financial advisor since 1989 and serves clients in 36 states across the country. She holds a bachelor's degree in speech communication from Cal State Long Beach and believes that we must always adapt to the changing environment, remain current, and take advantage of opportunities to improve our clients' lives. Our local motto, be a long-term thinker, not a short-term worrier, serves as the cornerstone of her discussions. Before I hand off to Allison today, we will be able to take live questions from anyone who has a microphone on their computer or device. If this is your first time using this feature, the left image is what you should see if you are using a desktop computer, and the right image represents the mobile or tablet version. If you'll look below, you'll see the raise hand feature. So if you can go ahead and try that for me, I just want to make sure that I have a few hands going up. Okay. Perfect. I see all hands going up. Wonderful. Thank you. And to lower that hand, you just click the very same button. And if you're feeling shy and you prefer to send in your questions via email, you can still do so by sending your email to team@luminafinancial.com. This email will be monitored throughout the presentation, so any questions received will be addressed as time permits. With that, I'll go ahead and hand it over to you, Allison.
All right. Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you, everybody, for joining me this afternoon. We have a really special program with a really special friend here today, Chris Scott, and I'll introduce you to him in a minute. But before I do, I just want to make sure I introduce you to our team. So, Chris, if you could, there you go, the Meet the Team page. So our Executive Vice President is Miles Fleming. He is also our specialist in Medicare and Medicare supplement insurance. We have Britt Stevens, who's our vice president and my partner on many clients' accounts. Peter Fink is our resident stock picker if you have individual securities that you'd like to ask about or consider. We have Damian Feldman, who you'll talk to usually first thing when you get on the phone with our office. He's usually your first person picking up the phone, and he's in charge of our calendar as well. We have Terry Jocelyn, who is our executive assistant and administrative manager, who is involved with the meeting preparation. You may talk to her on the phone as well. She keeps everything organized here behind the scenes. We have Maddie Yoa, who is in our San Pedro location. She is also behind the scenes. Some of you may have received some documents from her. She often sends out our DocuSigns for us. We have Kaylee Kaufman, who is joining me in most meetings now, taking notes as a scribe, and also client care coordination. So she is helping make sure that everything gets where it needs to go in a timely manner and back. We have Justin Romine and Lucy Adame, who are both interns and administrative assistant. So Justin normally supports Britt in everything that he is doing. And then Lucy is also supporting Caress, who is our her creative director. I was going to call you the chief marketing officer. You just got a promotion, man. Nice.
I love it.
So Caress is the voice from the sky, all things creative. She is running the webinars behind the scenes. She's coming up with all of our material, is working on a new team brochure, and Lucy supports her in her endeavors. So that's our team. How about that? And now we have to show you the disclosure slide because, of course, we need to be fully disclosed. And with that, I think since you've all memorized that slide by now, I would like to invite my good friend Chris Scott to join me here on the webinar. So a little bit about Chris. Chris and I have been working together now for 3 years, I think. Maybe a little, oh no, maybe.
Well, Caress pointed out that it's been 4 because I've done 4 of these webinars in December.
That's right. It's our 4th December together. So
yeah.
So I found Chris online when we had to pivot from doing live events to online events because of COVID. And Caress and I came up with the idea that we would do webinars on a regular basis. And so I was looking for someone to help me with my makeup because those of you who know me in person know that I'm not really a makeup girl and I really don't know what I'm doing and I really am not very good at it. And so Chris has been obviously able to fix my face for every webinar. And he also has provided lots of guidance as far as staging for the office and lighting. And through all the webinars, he helps all of our speakers get ready and has offered to do our December webinar this year again. He's a man of many talents. We've had him, the first time was Fine Tune Your Zoom, which was helping people look better on Zoom because everybody was starting to do Zoom meetings. And then we had a couple of cooking ones. One of them was how to set the perfect table. This is number 5, Chris, because we did Fine Tune Your Zoom. That maybe wasn't December, but we did how to set a perfect table and host a party.
Right.
And then you had gravies and sauces, right?
And then parties and games.
Party games. Yeah, how to host a party and fun party games.
I get the jacket. I get the 5-time jacket.
That's right. That's right. So now he's here, and many of you may not know, he not only has a catering company, and he also owns Makeup Gourmet. He's also a skincare expert as part of his makeup process. And so this is perfect. I think it's great. Everybody needs good skin.
Yay.
And how much money do we all waste on products that actually don't do anything because they're advertised on TV or you see them in the mall or whatever? So I'm just going to turn it over to you, Chris, to do your thing because you are amazing. Thank you for taking your time to do this.
My pleasure. Thank you, Allison. Well, hello, everyone. So we're going to get started, and we're doing today's intro to skin function. How does skin work? And let me just talk about this a little bit. The reason I'm doing this webinar is to tell you not just how skin works, and disclaimer, I am not a doctor at all, but I really understand skincare and also how skincare works with it. And it might shift the way you think about your skincare a little bit in the terms of the care of your skin. So it's important to remember that the focus of this webinar is having the best looking skin every day, how you can improve it, how you can repair it. And it's not about how many products you use. It's so not that. It's about understanding how your skin works and working with it. And so that's what you're going to learn today. So let's talk about skin. The layers of the human skin you see before you, the epidermis is the top layer, and really that's the only layer we're going to talk about. Well, not really, but mostly. Understand that our skin is the largest organ of our body. It is a highly energetic organ. It never stops because our skin is what protects us from the inside. So our skin is constantly working to replace skin cells so that we're not penetrated from whatever is outside to infect our body. So it's our layer of defense. And because of that, our body replicates a lot of skin cells. And it's that key factor that helps you understand how your skincare works with your skin so that your skin can look its absolute best. Now, understand we're talking about the epidermis. The top layer of skin is paper thin. If you've ever had just a little scratch and there was some blood, you got a little tiny bleed, you went through the top layer of skin and you went down into the dermis because that's where the blood is. So that's how skin it is. We're talking about this little tiny layer. That is every 30 days, it's a new layer of skin. So, and I'll talk about that. So let's find out about how our skin works as we grow up. Chris, how does skin work? Aging in skin. So our skin is energetic. See the little kid? He's small and he's growing every single day. And in order to do that, his skin has to constantly replicate itself at such a rapid rate to accommodate the growth of, from when we're born until we're about age 16. And that is proof positive that our skin is highly energetic and adaptive. And if you're growing, your skin's going to grow with you. It's going to say, all right, here we go. We're getting stronger every day. And I need skin to basically cover my body. So I'm just going to go. But then what happens? Well, I'll tell you what happens. We stop growing up. And that starts around age 16. Our body kind of starts going, there, that's about my size. And all of a sudden your skin goes, oh, you don't need all those skin cells. Here, let me rapidly slow down your cellular production of new skin cells. And that is the turning point. It's then at age 16 that is where our skin starts to take on the effects of aging. So stay on the slide for a little bit, if you don't mind, Caress. So if you look at without the video running, if that's possible, I'd like to look at the kid at the face on the left before it ages, or as if there's no way to stop it. Don't age. No. Come on back to the video slide. So you see the kid on the right, you see the translucency in the skin, the lightness, the brightness. That's what young skin is, because those skin cells are replicating so fast. Those cells are coming up and they're so big and round and full of water and light that the skin almost appears translucent, right? Because it's replicating so fast. But as we grow up, those skin cells slow down. So instead of those skin cells, coming up and flying off, they go, oh, I'm just going to stay here for a while. And now play the video, please. And then this is what happens as our skin starts to slow down, and it sees the environment and it starts to get affected because our skin is not nearly as rapidly producing fresh skin cells. So I know it's a sad story, but it's not really. It's just, consider yourself lucky, that you can have aging skin, because that's a good thing. All right, moving on. So what is skin damage? Because that's the thing. What does it look like? Mostly with young skin, like I said, it's full of light, it's translucent. And that's what you want to replicate. That's why there's so many makeup products that are reflective and dewy and moist, because that's what young skin looks like. And remember, all of our skin is young because it's no more than 30 days old. But skin damage, some of the symptoms are dark spots, right? Hyperpigmentation, fine lines and wrinkles. And they really don't have to be fine lines. If you look at the bottom image of the slide, those are some, deep lines, because the skin has been broken down by a few factors that we'll discuss. And so the skin starts to cave in, basically. And as it caves in, that's what creates those lines. Also, we start losing elasticity. Our skin starts getting very slack. Because we've just lost that tightness, that texture, because as it's damaged, it starts to loosen and start to fall. And then another sign of skin damage is people who experience, as a teenager or as an adult, a lot of acne. It can leave acne scarring, and it leaves sort of an orange peely kind of finish to the skin. And, that can cause a lot of self-consciousness with some people. And they would go, well, what can I do to fix that? And, let's just see if we can. So the number one cause of skin damage is the sun. I know we all know this, but let's just drill down a little bit on this so you can sort of see what that actually means. There's three types of rays that come from the sun: UVA, UVB, UVC. UVC never reaches us. I don't know why, it just doesn't. But the A rays and the B rays do. And here's how they differentiate. The UVA ray is an aging ray. A for aging. So what that means basically is that those are the rays that break down collagen, break down elasticity. They don't burn those rays, but they're like the silent killers, because they get down in there and they break the collagen, they snap the collagen, break it in half, and the skin caves in, and that's where the lines come from. And the loss of collagen, loss of elasticity. So you can see that the sun is like 90% of our skin damage, if not more. Now, the UVB ray, B is for the burning ray. And that just means anytime you get any color, your skin is going into defense mode. It wants to protect itself from the rays that are coming, and so it produces melanin as a defense. Thus, people with much darker skin have already a sort of a built-in defense to those B rays, whereas with lighter skin, those B rays tear us up. So this gentleman that you see here, this is not a touched up photograph at all. This is a truck driver, and the side of his face that is, by the window when he's driving his truck everywhere has been exposed to sun. And so the other side hasn't. And wow, what a dramatic difference between the two sides. I mean, his skin looks really good on, well, what would be his right side, but as we look at him, his left side, smooth. And the other side, it's just textured, deep lines. It has all the effects that the sun can do. So if that's a very graphic example of why, UVA and UVB rays are so damaging. What you should know is that fluorescent light has a lot of UVA rays. So if you work under fluorescent light, you are getting bombarded with UVA rays. So like in hospitals or big buildings, big stores, whatever, you have to protect your skin from that. And you think, oh, I'm safe because I'm indoors. Not if it's fluorescent light. You're getting the aging rays, the silent killers. So what can we do about it? Well, we can energize our skin. Now, I just talked about our skin being highly energetic. Our skin has no qualms in working hard. It's such a fun organ. It just wants to create new skin cells if it has to, because that's its job. That's how it protects us. But if it doesn't have to, it won't. So once we have become full grown, our skin cells come to the top, and instead of being pushed off by the new skin cells that are coming up so rapidly, the skin cells aren't coming up so fast. So these top skin cells are there longer, and they start to flatten out. They're no longer full of light. They start to go down and flat. They don't reflect light. Our skin looks ashy. It basically looks like, a more mature, dry skin. So how do we energize our skin? It's really easy. The first thing is exfoliation. Now, look how happy she is. I want to be that happy when I exfoliated this morning, and I was not that happy. Exfoliation is the process of seducing and or inviting the top dead skin cells to go away. And it's usually done with a granular product. Doesn't necessarily have to be, but that's most common. What you really want to stay away from when you exfoliate are like a lot of people use pips, like peach seeds. It's just awful, ground up, because they're little crunchy things. No, you want much more micro granules that actually can dissolve at a certain point. But here's what you're doing, and you can see how that's why she's so happy. She's doing it right. If you force, like you put that scrub on and you go, come on, dead skin cells, you're mine, and you really wail at them, what happens is, sure, the dead skin cells come off, but there are living skin cells that are still attached that get ripped off because, well, you want to take them off so bad. And when you take off a living skin cell, it creates a little tiny tear in your skin. And when that happens, instead of your body going, Oh, here, a skin cell came off. Let me replace it. It went, oh, there's a little tiny breach in our skin. Let me send up, white blood cells and stuff to seal the gap, seal the breach. And it's not sending up fresh skin cells, it's sending up repair. So when you exfoliate, be patient, be calm, be happy, like our model here. So when you're putting it on your face, here, let me show you a close-up of the difference, if I can. When you're working on your face, it's not how hard you do it, it's how long. I'm sorry, I have ape arms. It's like this, very soft, right? You're working on your skin and you're seducing. Don't think, okay, they're off now. No, you got to keep going. And then those dead skin cells go, whoa, what's going on? Whoa, oh, I'm falling off. And they fall off, but gently, and no living skin cells do. And when the minute that top layer of dead skin cells come up, then your body goes, oh, you need some skin cells here. And it starts pushing more skin cells back up to the surface. And that's energizing your skin, right? So let's go back to the exfoliation and understand that exfoliating once a week is probably enough. If you have super oily skin, overactive, oil glands, you might want to do it more often. Oil tends to cling to dead skin cells. So you get that buildup. You think you're dry, but you're not. It's really a crust of dead skin cells that can't leave because the oil is clinging to them. So by gently removing them, your body goes, here's fresh new skin cells. So now we have, at a more rapid rate, even as a mature adult, our skin coming up with fresh, round, full skin cells that are full of light, full of water to create a more translucent skin. Now, another way to energize your skin is alpha hydroxy acids. You've probably heard this. You've probably heard of glycolic acids. Alpha hydroxy is really like the super group. And there's lots of acids that fall below it. Most common are sugar acids or lactic acids. Sugar acids are great because they're kind of dissolving. Lactic acids are very good for people who have sensitive skin because it's milk. And so it's just nice and creamy. But what alpha hydroxy acids do, and all the other acids I just mentioned, which are all the same grouping in the alpha hydroxy, is they loosen dead skin cells. So if you're using a cleanser or a moisturizer that has the alpha hydroxys in it, it's not that those dead skin cells are going to come off now, but those dead skin cells are going to start to loosen. So the next time you just wash your face, not even exfoliate, those skin cells are going to come off more readily. And so for my money, I want that ingredient in my moisturizer. And I've been doing skin for a long time, and there has been very few new introductions into the skincare game. And remember, when you go to the store, there's lots of products for every little part of your face. But really what we're talking about is, how do we energize our skin? How do we make it look its best? And not drill down so much. Look at the big picture. Your skin has a 30-day cycle from when the skin cell is born till it falls off. So you want to give that skin cell its healthiest life so that by the time it reaches the top, it's still beautiful, and then it goes bye-bye, and that's why your skin looks better. Now, another great ingredient that has showed up is retinol. Now, retinol is an over-the-counter ingredient, and it is a really watered-down derivative of retin A, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. But retinol is great. Retinol it helps to it kind of opens up the pathways in your skin, so you have a higher cellular turnover. And by doing that, the fine lines and the wrinkles start to soften. Also, miraculously, sunspots and other signs of sun damage start to fade. It's just because retinol is such a in retinol, and basically retinol is based on vitamin A. That's what retin A is. It's vitamin A, but it's designed for the skin. And so if you exfoliate and if your moisturizer has these two things, and these are ways to really energize your skin to create the appearance of a more youthful skin, because all we're doing is making our skin act like a younger skin. That's all we're doing. But by doing so, our skin looks better. Now, there's one other ingredient that I wanted to talk about, just for those of you who have any sunspotting, licorice root extract. And it's under energizing skin, but I'm not sure if, when I think about it, it's not really absolutely correct. But licorice root extract is great, again, for dark spots. So, for some people, they have, what do you call it, a pregnancy mask, or some people who have used birth control pills and they've been in the sun. It creates a false pregnancy mask, which is that patchy darkness. Licorice root extract, in its own, it's built into your moisturizer or your serum. It dissipates, it breaks apart the appearance of those dark spots. But remember, skincare, it's like brushing your teeth. You have to commit to doing it, or else it's going to stop. It's not going to look good the next day. If you don't brush your teeth for a day, you go, man, my teeth feel awful. And that's the same with skin and with skincare. So let's talk about moisturizer and how it works. So what our skin wants and how we keep those skin cells from the day they're born till the day they reach the top nice and juicy, because that's what we're doing, is we're just juicing them up, is water and oil. That's all a moisturizer is, in sort of a balance. And it's our job to bring that, to draw that into our skin. Now, oil is going to give your skin elasticity. It's going to give it its snap, right? So when you pull and then the skin comes back, it has more elasticity in it, and that is on a great part to having oil in your skin, but it's got to be the right kind of oil. Now, water is, of course, water, and you want water in the top layer of your skin. That's what gives the brightness to the skin cells. If there's a lot of water in that skin cell, it's almost translucent, like a young person's skin. And so you want to keep the water. But here's what happens. You have a moisturizer that's oil and water. And I just say that because I'm breaking it down to the basics. And you put it on your skin. Well, what happens is the oil goes in and it doesn't move because it's oil and it just soaks in. Now the water goes in, and about almost as fast as it goes in, it flies right back out. So think about it this way. If you did a little test and you took some vegetable oil and some water on a hot day and you poured it on a sidewalk and watched it, what would happen is in about an hour, that water would be gone. And in about a year, you're still going to see that oil stain. That oil hangs out a long time. So what's most important is, how do we keep water in our skin? It's tricky, but they got very clever with a couple of new ingredients. So first, let's talk about oil, the kind of oil you want to put into your skin. Now, I got to tell you, this is not easy to find. I have it in my products, but you really have to seek it out. Jojoba oil, the best oil for your skin. Not only does it help sensitive skin, redness, whatever, the oil molecule, the oil that's in our skin, that our skin naturally produces is practically identical to jojoba oil, more than any other oil. So what does that mean? That means that when you put jojoba oil into your skin, it almost like swallows into the oil that's already there. It bonds with it. And it doesn't create like a surface residue. So it's like adding skin to your skin, which is a weird way to put it, but that's what it's like by using jojoba oil. I cannot stress enough how molecularly important it is that the oil bonds with your skin, because there's a lot of oils you put in and maybe say a half of that oil molecule bonds with your skin. What happens with the other half? Well, it's there, but it's not doing anything. And so it clogs pores. It creates blemishes. It builds up because it has nowhere to go, because like the oil on the sidewalk, the stain's going to be there a year later. So you really want to be careful with your oil, and having a highly refined oil is better, but it's not the best. If you can find products with jojoba oil in it, then you are a happy person. But here is the kicker. How do we keep water in our skin? Well, recently, not so recently, the miracle product is hyaluronic acid. Now, you've all heard of it, but it hasn't been around forever. Well, actually, it has, because hyaluronic acid lives in our joints. Hyaluronic acid are these little tiny molecules that love water. They seek water, they absorb it up to 1,000 times their size in each molecule. And that's what hydrates our joints. Every single one of our joints in our body has those hyaluronic acid molecules there. So as we drink water, what have you, that's what keeps us from creaking. So if you use a moisturizer or a serum that has a hyaluronic acid in it, here's what happens. You put a thin layer on your skin, and saying thin layer reminds me of what I want to tell you about thin. But you put it on your skin, and actually it's better if it's in a serum, because then when you put your moisturizer on that has water in it, rather than that water going in and going, okay, see ya, the hyaluronic acid goes and holds it. So less water leaves your face. More of it stays in your skin. And we're talking about that paper, less than a tissue paper thin top layer of skin. And so those top skin cells fill up with water, full of light, beautiful glowing skin. See, it's not I'm going to say rocket science, but yeah, it's not rocket science. But if you understand why we're using the skincare we do, we understand how we're working with our skin to make it look its best. And that's, I think, really exciting to know. And now there are a few parts of your body you really want to be careful with. They're very vulnerable areas. So the eye area, this area here, right around the eyes, this tissue is almost missing completely the second layer of skin, the dermis. And that's where all the fat cells are. And what is fat cells? Those are oils. And what do they give us? Elasticity. And that's why around our eye area, we can age so much faster. Because, evolutionarily speaking, if there's oil around our eye, it's going to affect our vision. So, thank you, evolution. This tissue is very, very thin, okay? Also, for everyone, the décolleté. The décolleté, and I don't know why evolutionary this is, but our décolleté is like our eyes. It's missing that middle layer of skin almost. It has a little bit more of a dermis, because epidermis on top, dermis, and then subcutaneous. But in the dermis, it's very thin. So Often we talk about if you want to know someone's age, you look here, you look at the décolleté, because that really shows more aging than the face usually. And then the other part that's very vulnerable for all of us are our hands, because our hands are, if you drive, they're out there in the sun. And generally, even if you're wearing UVA clothing or whatever, our hands are exposed. And they're very prone to sunspotting and things like that. So these are areas that you want to pay special attention to. Now, staying with eyes for just a second, eye cream is awesome. The only why eye cream is because the oil molecule in the eye cream has been refined to such a point that it can actually penetrate that top layer of skin, because it's so much thinner here that it's hard to get elasticity in our eye area with an oil, because almost every oil molecule is too big. So you put it there, but it doesn't go anywhere. And that's why some people end up getting cysts or these little white bumps, because that oil has nowhere to go. So it builds up under the top layer of skin. So make sure you're using an eye cream. And then when you're putting on eye cream, you have a little bit left, you rub it on your lips, because your lips are also a non-oily skin, meaning the epidermis in the lips is almost non-existent. So when you're doing eyes, rub your lips. And what I do, if I want to exfoliate my lips, here, I'll show you. Would you do a close-up, please? So I just take a cotton swab and I just take it, and let's pretend I put a little bit of eye cream here and I rolled it up. I put it on my mouth, but I don't just rub it in. There, I'm good, done. No, you do little tiny circles, little tiny circles, and take it again. It's like exfoliating your face, but with that refined oil moisturizer, which is your eye cream, and you'll be amazed how much light comes out of your lips, how much fresh your lips look almost immediately. And so that's how the eye cream can help your lips as well as your eyes. So let's just talk about basic skincare and the order of application and why we do it this way. And so the whole point of this, of me talking about how skincare works with it, is to understand, what these products are, and the order that you use them. So cleanser is to remove surface oils, surface dirt, whatever, makeup, clean your skin, right? But you want to be careful, because you don't want to use products that are too stripping, here, I'm going to totally, use alcohol on my face. Now it's clean. Yeah, it's clean, but it's also fried, so you want to use a gentle cleanser. And if you're more oily, you can use a more robust cleanser. If you're more dry, you want to use a more milky cleanser. It's a balance, right? And closer to the end of this webinar, we have a special bonus for you to help us figure out what would be best for you. So that's cleanser. Now, toner, the most misunderstood product ever. Why did we do toner? If you skipped it, would it be okay? Yes. If you used it, would it be better? Yes. Toner does two things. It kind of follows up in the cleansing. Often it's just a little bit of witch hazel to take off any more surface bacteria that might be on the skin. But a good toner has humectants. Humectants are things that seek moisture, very much like our hyaluronic acid does. And so when it's on your skin, when you put the next layer of moisturizing on, it attracts and absorbs. And even the best toners have some antioxidants in them, which protect you from pollution in the air, because antioxidants basically break up the top layer of skin. They damage it. So that's toner. Serum. What's a serum? It depends on why you want to use it. There's lots of different serums out there. For my money, I like to put water in my skin and keep it there. So I use a hyaluronic serum. The hyaluronic acid in my serum is actually a derivative called sodium hyaluronate. And the only reason it's just better, it absorbs quicker into the skin, which is what you want because this is the thin layer of skin. But as long as the hyaluronic acid, but there's other serums that you can find out there that are meant to help, have retinol in them or to help sort of boost collagen production, if you will. And it basically, it's like a vitamin. So your moisturizer is your meal, but your serum is your moisturizer. It's a concentrated form of what your skin needs most. And so you would put that first, okay? And then moisturize every day. Now, the idea is you do this twice a day and you're like, come on, give me a break. But the point is, how often do you brush your teeth? If you think about it that way, that's how often you should do your skincare, unless you brush your teeth 3 times a day or 5. Really, it's just 2, morning and night. But even getting 1 in is better than none. Because trust me, I know we're all busy, and all of a sudden we're tired. And we're like, really? I'm going to do more skincare? But it's once a day is good, twice is best. Moisturizer, you want to have sunscreen in that bad boy, okay? You definitely want to have sunscreen in that to help just protect your skin. But here's where your retinol can live, your alpha hydroxy acids can live, and there's lots of other little juicy ingredients that you can use, but those are my favorites. And then the last thing you want to do, especially if you're going to be outside, is a layer of sunscreen. Now, sunscreen is often misunderstood. Does SPF 80 mean that I'm protected forever? No. All of our skin, basically, the way it works is the number is basically how long does it take your skin to start getting color? And the number gives you 15 more minutes of protection. So if you have an SPF 8 and you start getting color in 10 minutes on your skin, it's going to protect your skin for 80 minutes. But after that, you're not getting any more protection. The highest that you can really get is a 15, not in terms of the number, but in terms of the protection. That's why you use a higher sunblock, because it guarantees you the 15. Because remember, you have to put this stuff on uniformly for it to be effective. And people go, oh, there's sunblock in my foundation, so I'm okay. No, because you don't put foundation on like you would a moisturizer. You want to use a fair amount of that sunscreen on your skin. And I think that's broad spectrum. So look at the bottle. Broad spectrum. Say that 5 times fast. Go. Broad spectrum means that it blocks both the A and the B rays, the aging and the burning. If it doesn't say broad spectrum, don't buy it. Okay, even if it's SPF 2000, don't buy it. Make sure it is broad spectrum. And there are recently some mineral sunblocks for people who are sensitive to regular sun. Because sunscreen, it's a chemical, and it can affect your skin. So if you are affected by using sunscreen, but you still want to protect your skin, look into these mineral sunblocks, because I've used them and they're really nice. The other ones are more effective, and my skin isn't sensitive to them, so I use them, but it is an alternative, and that's really important for those of you who may have a little bit of sensitivity. Now, here's the magic trick coming up. Are you ready? Now, most of what I've been talking about today is daily use, making our skin look its best regularly, brushing our teeth every day, right? And so that they feel good, doing our skincare so our skin looks its best. But, like the truck driver picture we looked at, gentleman had some serious damage on his skin from the sun. And there is only one thing that can repair damaged skin. So everything we're using isn't repairing a darn thing. All it's doing is making that top layer of skin look its best. Beauty is only skin deep. That's so true with skincare. And the magic ingredient is retin A. That's right. Check out this young lady. Now, she's been using this for like 2 years, but look at the difference in her skin. It's amazing. So look, the reason why I'm doing this webinar now is retin A, retinoids, or tretinoin are all the same thing. Tretinoin is sort of the supergroup, which is a vitamin A, and retin A is what most what do you call them? Dermatologists will prescribe. All of this has to be prescribed, and they can give you different strengths. However, when you use this product, your skin becomes super sun sensitive, hypersensitive, and you can get hyperpigmentation. So if you think, I have some wrinkles and I really want something that's going to last, filler is filler. And once the filler's gone, the wrinkles are back, and it's a pain in the butt. You can actually repair skin damage, and retin A is the only thing we have found that ever can do that. It actually repairs it. It's amazing. But you're going to do it now. Fall, winter, moving into spring, because the sun is, at least if you're in the northern hemisphere, because the sun is really far away from us. We're not getting that intense UV light. And generally, the way this works is you apply it at night. You apply it nightly, right? But still during the day, no direct sun. But this time of year is best, because even direct sun isn't as bad. But I didn't even say that. Just no direct sun. Let your skin. And generally speaking, this is month 26, but people can see it takes 30. Our skin cycle is 30 days. So in 30 days, you're going to see improvement. In 3 months, you're going to see a lot of improvement. And then if you think that's great, stop using it and wait till next year and use it again. Unless you're in a position where you can stay out of the sun. Because if you go in the sun, it's not a good thing with retin A in your skin. You will get hyperpigmentation, blotchy things. And the issue with hyperpigmentation is that if you get it with retin A, from retin A, it's almost impossible to get rid of. Unlike if you have hyperpigmentation before you use it, and you use it and it corrects it, it can correct the hyperpigmentation. And I don't know how this works, but them's the beans. So just stay out of the sun, but it is the best product. I guess I've stressed that a lot. But if you're looking for smoother skin, less wrinkles, a little more vibrancy in the skin, that's the one that can do it. Okay, let's move on. So that's my skincare portion, but it's not, don't worry, there's a bonus coming. But when you're trying to work with your skin with makeup, remember this one simple concept. Your makeup needs to be skin thin, and not all 3 layers thin, just the top layer. So no matter how you apply your foundation or your blush or whatever, you have to make it as thin or thinner than the top layer of skin. Because if you don't, then it's sitting on top of your skin. And then it looks like makeup and not you. You want makeup to be part of you. In fact, you want to see the effect of makeup and not the makeup. You want it as if it's coming out of your skin, not on top of your skin. And there are techniques to achieve that, of course. But great products, a tinted moisturizer with SPF. They're fantastic. A little bit of tint gives the skin a beautiful glow. Sun protection, has antioxidants. Oh, we're demonstrating Makeup Gourmets here because it has all those good things in it. And then also using slip-based color. And what I mean by slip-based color is most lipsticks are a slip-based color. It's because when you say cream, it sounds heavy. But if it's slip-based, like a cream blush, right? a little bit of a light cream eyeshadow. Those things you can get skin thin, and so you don't, the makeup doesn't end up piling up on top of your skin. So for what it's worth, slip based color is really good, especially as your skin matures, for it to look its best. And then moving on to our, just a suggestion, holiday eyes, smoky eyes. There's a big sort of stigma about using holiday eyes. Smoky eye doesn't mean an intense eye. What it means is it's a technique. So you see the eye on your left. That's a more natural looking eye. Eye on the right, a little more dramatic looking. Exact same technique. All the smoky eye is 3 concentric half circles. The first circle is on the ball of the eye, and that's darkest color. The second color goes in under the brow bone, and the third color goes under the eyebrow, and you blend them together. Now, the closer those colors are together, the more natural it looks. The farther apart those colors are, the more dramatic it gets, the higher the contrast. So the colors on the left eye are much more closer together, so it's a natural looking eye. One on the right, higher contrast, so it looks more dramatic. What I love about this look is it stays within the world of the eye. It's not about winging it here. It stays right here. It really pulls focus. It's elegant, it's chic, it's dramatic, it's easy to put on, and it stays on. And I have some good videos on my website about how to do a smoky eye. So I have a bonus for you because I promised I did. So this is my website. For all of you attending today, I am offering you well, what am I offering, Caress? Let's find out. Isn't that a cool little thing? Whoa, look, the book goes right in. That's neat. So I'm offering there it is, a free 15-minute Zoom consultation. Are you kidding me? Right. So if you go to makeupgourmet.com, on the homepage, there's a book now button. In fact, it's on every page. You click it, it takes you to my booking app, and just sign up for a 15-minute free consultation. So I can talk to you, because even though skincare is general, each person has specific needs. So I can talk to you about your skincare. And it's, no charge to you, but I can help sort of set things straight. Oh, look, Caress is showing us now. Would you click on that button, Caress? Let's see what happens. Or does anything happen? Well, it will take you to it. It can't be reached. See? Yeah, you're welcome. That's my gift. No, but anyway, it'll work. And then the other thing is, what is the other thing, Caress? I forgot. Free 15-minute Zoom consultation. Oh my God. You also get 20% off through the end of December. Hey, Caress, I didn't approve that. So the coupon code is Lumina20. And remember, Lumina is spelled Lumena 20. So if you just put that coupon code in, it's good for all full-priced products and services. So you can take advantage of that if you like. And now I'm open. We're almost out of time, but I am open to any questions if there are any questions. And all you have to do is raise your hand, apparently.
Hey, Chris, can you put down the slide of the Q&A? So first of all, Chris, thank you so much. I'm looking for the hands to go up for the questions, but I just wanted to make a quick observation.
Yes.
That I always thought that the retinol ads and all that stuff on TV was completely bogus. Because I thought all they were trying to do was sell you super expensive products, and it was all a load of hooey as far as, you need the serum and you need the thing and you need all this stuff to make your skin look great. And by the way, it's going to cost you $500 because,
right.
If you don't want to buy drugstore products, you go to a department store and then they charge you whatever gazillion dollars for a thing of face cream.
Right.
So thank you for sharing that whole process as to the why, because I'm more inclined to actually think it's not a load of hooey based on, your explanation of things.
Right. And retinol can be included in your moisturizer. You don't. I mean, it's like an alpha hydroxy acid. It's all, goes along with it. And there are some excellent drugstore brands for that. And if my products are sort of in between. Well, the in between drugstore and department store as far as prices go, but they're not. You can find definitely effective um, versions of moisturizers with retinol in them, and they don't have to cost an arm and a leg.
Mhm. So my question is, how do you decide, which brand is one? You hear Oil of Olay has been around for a while, and then you have L'Oreal selling stuff, and then you have, Chanel selling stuff,
Of
and you got,
course,
all these
it's,
different ones
it's
selling
like
stuff.
walking into a Sephora store and you're looking for a lipstick. You're like, oh, my brain is already dead.
Right.
You book your free 15-minute consultation with Makeup Gourmet.
I think that's a good plan.
Because
That's a good plan.
seriously, that's all you need is just a hand. You
Yeah.
just need a hand to say, here, what are your actual needs, and what results do you want? Because I've worked in department stores and I know what it's like, and I pity people who go in there without a game plan, because you just get spun around, with all these different products.
Yeah.
The research is, and plus, I guess I've done it for so long. The research for me is easy as far as what's the best product for you. And I don't, if I have the product for you, I'm going to recommend it. If I don't, I'm going to recommend another one, as you know.
I do know that. Yeah. And so for anybody that wants to take Chris up, I highly recommend you do it just to see. And, I can tell you, I wouldn't be having him on here on our webinars year after year after year if I didn't trust what he was saying was true and fair and accurate. So thank you for this. I do see Susie has her hand up. We've got a minute for a question. Susie, you want to go ahead and unmute yourself?
Yes. Hi, Scott. Thank you so much for that presentation. I learned a lot.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yes, and I definitely want to sign up for that 15-minute consult. I, like Allison, I'm not a person that does a lot with makeup, unless, I'm told to, the wedding or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And I grew up in the 60s and 70s when we didn't use any kind of sunscreen. We used baby oil. And
We sure did.
so now I'm suffering the consequences of that. I've had to use cream stuff for skin cancer.
Right. I just used some of that myself because, well, I lived on Guam as a kid.
Mhm. So now I have the broadband sunscreen. I have some moisturizer, but like what Allison said, everybody tells me, get this, get that, get this, get that. And I'm just like the
And,
Sephora store. I've walked in there and walked right out of there.
and the answer is not in the bottle. It's in what are your needs. Because, it's like tap shoes. I have a pair of tap shoes, but they don't work because I never practiced tap dancing. So the same thing with your moisturizers. You have to understand why you're using them, but you also have to use them. Yeah. So sign up, and I'll try to make more sense.
And I just want to share really quickly because there are two ways, and I forgot to show that. So services and booking, book now. That's what you reminded me of, Chris. I forgot.
You're welcome.
There you go. That's how that works.
Absolutely. So yeah, so I encourage you to do that. This is recorded. And Chris, thank you so much for your generosity and your time and your expertise and the offer to help my friends and clients. I think it's wonderful. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for, of course, everything.
Yeah. Of course. All right. And I don't see any other hands up right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and thank you so much for coming. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. If you have any other questions or you'd like to share the webinar with somebody else who couldn't make it, feel free to do that as soon as it's up on the website. It usually takes a few days for Kristi to get it submitted through and approved to put on our site. Have a great one, and we'll see you soon. Bye.